So many of you know that Blake, my boyfriend, is in the Air Force. He recently, well, about a year ago, he started talking about wanting to join. And so I've been getting a lot of questions since then about the Air Force in general, or just the military in general, and how I'm dealing with everything and what to expect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to film a couple different videos. Originally I was going to put this in one video, except I did that the other day. I filmed everything and it was so ridiculously long that it just wasn't even worth it. So I'm going to break down the certain aspects of the Air Force in general, or the military, and that way you can kind of go back and forth between the videos to figure out what questions you have and ask specific questions to do with certain topics. For example, this video will be on why and when Blake wanted to join the Air Force and the entire enlistment process. The other videos will be about basic training and what happens in basic training, the way it's all laid out. Another video will be tech school and graduation. So I'm just going to separate everything to make it easier on you guys. If you are looking in my subscription box on your newsfeed and you're seeing that I uploaded like 3 different, 4 different, 5 different videos, you don't have to watch all of them. I just wanted to lay it out so it's easier for you guys to watch, so you don't have to sit through a huge long video. So we started talking about joining not just the Air Force, but the military in general, probably in April of last year. So about a year ago, he started seriously discussing it and talking about it. And we had lived together at the time. We'd been together for a couple of months, and I told him that I supported him in whatever he wanted to do, and that's still true to this day. The main reasons I think why he wanted to join, honestly, I don't even know if he's even sure why he wanted to join. I think part of him just had this urge that he wanted to join for, maybe he wanted something to be proud of, maybe he wanted something for people to be proud of him for. I think a lot of it had to do seriously with boredom. Before he started talking about the Air Force or the military, he would just kind of play video games, and he had a job for a little while, but the job market, especially around in this area, was not good. He got laid off, and then so he was out of work for a little while. He had taken classes at the local college, and it just wasn't the right fit for him at the time, so I guess it was almost like a last resort in a sense, except that makes it sound kind of detrimental and bad. It wasn't bad, it wasn't detrimental at all. He just wanted to kind of do something with his life that gave him more of a plan, I think. The benefits also kind of outweighed the cons for him as well. He saw it as the fact that they pay for a lot of things, they give you a lot of money for schooling, and you're basically set for a little chunk of time as long as your enlistment is. So that is basically why he wanted to join. There were a lot of little tiny reasons that kind of compounded into maybe this is a good idea. We went down to the recruiter's office. We went into every branch except the Marines. He did not want to go Marines. So the first stop was the Army, and we talked to the Army recruiters there, and we talked to them about the enlistment process, what to expect, and basically we popped in every branch. The Navy branch was closed, so we didn't go in there, but Air Force and Army was open, and both of them gave us big packets of stuff to expect and certain jobs that are currently available. But there was a lot of stuff that was in the packet that basically laid out how each branch works. He settled on the Air Force mostly because the standard of living is a little bit higher, I think, is kind of where he was going with that thought. I think he went in with the Air Force because it just seemed a little bit easier compared to everything else, and I kind of agree with him. The way it was set up, the way that the recruiters explained it to us was basically the standard of living is super, super high in the Air Force, especially in comparison to like the Marine Corps. It's just, I guess you could say it's kind of like, a lot of people call it the chair force. For example, even today, he's in tech school currently, and there are days where he doesn't do PT, physical training, in the morning or in the afternoon because it's raining, or it's, like really, really like lame excuses. They get out of a lot of stuff, and I think it's just because of the way that the branch is set up. Our recruiter was really, really cool too. He kind of helped us kind of understand his side of things, and Blake's side of things and my side of things, what I should be expecting and what is kind of to come. We met with him a couple of times. He got enrolled in DEP, which is the Delayed Entry Program, and he what they did was he picked, like, I think it was about 10 jobs. He laid out the jobs that were most appealing to him, put them on a list from like 1 to 10. His most desired job was a helicopter maintainer. Gave that to the recruiter, and the recruiter kind of basically just tells him like, okay, I will keep this list in mind. If one of your jobs opens up, you get the job. You also have the option of going in like open general or open mechanical, which basically is they send you to basic training with no job in mind, and you pick it there, or they pick it for you. You kind of get selected for certain jobs, which is kind of not the best idea, mostly because it's you really have no idea what you're going to get, and you could seriously settle for a job that you really don't want. So our recruiter stressed the fact that he should pick a job before actually going to basic. One of the things you have to do with the recruitment process is also go to MEPS. MEPS is a military entrance processing station, and most people typically go there a minimum of 2 times. It's a big governmental building. The nearest one for us is in Seattle. You go in there to do, like, they test you a lot, so you take the ASVAB there, which is like the, kind of like the SAT for the military in a sense. You take it and you get a score from 1 to 99. You obviously want to aim for the higher score, but it's a test that has like math and language skills and mechanical skills kind of all laid out, and it tests you. The score that you get kind of helps determine what jobs you're eligible for within that branch. But at MEPS you also have to do like blood tests, and you get weighed and you get measured, and you have to urine tests and all these different tests, strength training tests. You're tested, basically. It's a whole day of tests. The second time you go back to MEPS is right before you go to basic training, the morning before your flight down to San Antonio, which is where his basic training was. You go back to MEPS and do basic testing all over again. So more blood work, more urinalysis, more eye test, more height, more weight. You have to have a certain weight for your height, and it's very specific what is eligible for you to be a part of the military. And if everything is still cleared and you're still good to go, then you get on a plane and you go to basic training. You're in the military. Congratulations. If you are personally going into the military or thinking about it, the best route for you to get specific information would be to go to a recruiter. They give you information. It's all just given to you. And they know everything. So that would be my #1 suggestion, obviously after a couple Google searches. And yeah, on my end of things, I was pretty much just watching him do all this stuff. I supported him and through everything, and I still do. I would drive him to his recruiter's appointments, and I would come with him, and I would ask questions too. I don't even remember the questions I asked, but, you know, that kind of stuff. You just kind of be involved and don't be afraid to ask questions. The only bad question is the one you didn't ask, so just make sure you ask questions. So I hope this helped you if you are trying to decide if you should go into the military, or if you have a significant other who is also thinking about going into the military. And just make sure that if that's something that they're seriously thinking about it, just make sure you support them, or alternatively, bring up your concerns with them right away before they sign on that dotted line, and see, you know, where everything is headed and how you feel about things. Feel free to ask your recruiter what's going on. Ask your boyfriend or girlfriend or son's recruiter any questions you might have, and they should be able to help you out, no problem. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and stay tuned for more videos.